Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to bring you the ultimate AE86 buyer's guide. A lot of you guys over Instagram and YouTube and even Discord, if you guys aren't part of my Discord, make sure to join it. But a lot of you guys have been asking, what's a good price for an AE86? How do I get one? And do you have any tips for buying one? In this video, I'm going to cover all of that. I'm going to teach you how to get a pretty good deal on an 86 in 2022. It's not going to be as good as if it was in 2019 or 2018. Because prices back then were a lot cheaper and a lot more reasonable. So first off, I'm gonna go over the budget you kind of need to get started for looking for an A86. This is the market price right now. If you find a deal, that's great, and I'm gonna try to teach you guys how to do that, but this is around the amount of money you'll need. A lot of people come to the market with $3,000 and want a GTS hatch. First of all, that's not gonna happen. If you thought that, you would need a time machine to go back to like 2005. You do have $3,000, you can still get an A86. You're just probably not gonna get the GTS hatch unless you buy it from an old lady. First off, we got the AE86 Coupe automatic. These a couple years ago were selling dirt cheap. Now we're probably looking around 3 to 5K for the automatic version of the AE86 Coupe with the 4ACE, not the GTS. This is the SR5. Next, we have the AE86 Coupe manual. This is also the SR5. You'll probably want a budget of 5 to 6 grand for a coupe. For the GTS of the coupe, you're probably gonna want 10 to 13. And by the way, these aren't like brand new cars. This isn't fully restored or anything like this. These cars will probably be mechanically sound, but their paint will be fading. They might have some ripped seats, a couple interior pieces missing that you might have to find. But overall, for this price point, they should be good mechanically. So now we're gonna move on to hatches. First off, we got the AE86 hatch SR5 automatic. You could probably find a clean, decent one of these selling for around $7,000 to $8,000. Then we have the AE86 hatch SR5 in the manual. These would be selling around 8 to 10K in most areas. And now for the car that everybody wants, an AE86 hatch GTS. These are probably going to be selling for $15,000 and up in decent condition. They can go up to around 30 if you're going for a all original, pretty good condition car. But at the same time, this car will have a good amount of miles. Like this one right here has 195,000. And don't even try to find a low mileage AE86. It's almost impossible just because these are just Corollas and these are used as daily drivers, driven every single day in all conditions most of the time. But this is pretty much the pinnacle of what the sales for an AE86 GTS hatch are going for right now. I've seen a couple of these on the marketplace that have sold for around this price, maybe a little bit less since it's not on Bring a Trailer, but this is a pretty clean example of a hatch. Here's one with a little bit more miles. This one has, I think, 320,000 miles, pretty good condition, and it sold for $21,000. Now, since you're not going to be on Bring a Trailer, most likely because you're watching this video, you'll probably pay like $4,000 less just because it's local and not nationwide. So now that we got the prices out of the way, we're now going to talk about the tips for buying an AE86. First one, I've got to say, don't type in AE86 in Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, anything like that. Always type in 1984 to 1987 Corolla. I usually go 1984 Corolla, 1985 Corolla, 1986 Corolla, and 1987 Corolla, just to check all my bases. A lot of time, these cars aren't labeled AE86 in the title and have the year, make, and model instead. And that's how you can find a good deal, because some people don't know what this was worth and what it is, so they're gonna mark it as a 1985 Corolla. If you do this, you could get a really good deal if someone doesn't know what they have. So this goes into our next tip. Always have cash in hand stored at your house. I said be ready to hop in that car. For you to do that, you cannot stop at the bank. You just need to have the cash in hand for the car. The next tip is you have to look hourly, because these cars come and go quick. If someone finds a deal, they are hopping in the car right away with cash and driving to the buyer and giving it to them. You at least have to look every single hour just to make sure none have posted. And if a car is posted for a good deal, don't hesitate. Jump in the car right away and go get that AE86. Maybe 6 months ago, I was gonna buy an AE86 hatch GTS for 6 grand. I know, it's unbelievable. I messaged him right away. I had cash in hand. I said I was gonna come and buy it. Unfortunately, he said he was busy and I couldn't persuade him to come pick it up. He ended up saying that I could pick it up tomorrow. He promised me that I was the first one in line. Turns out someone else kind of did a crappy move and bid more than asking price, and they ended up getting the car instead of me. Now we're gonna have to go into setting up notifications. You can do this on Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp. I always set up notifications for 1984 to 1987 Corolla, so just in case if something pops up, I'm the first to see it. The next tip is make sure you have a large radius for Facebook Marketplace and offer up. Don't go 10 miles, don't go 20, don't go 30. Put Facebook Marketplace and offer up to the max amount of miles it can be set to, because a lot of the times these deals aren't near you. Especially for me, since I live in Texas, everything's spread apart and these deals could be 3 or 4 hours away. Next is never go and bring a trailer, because you'll never find a good deal there. They're overpriced cars, and these are the type of people that have the money to buy a nice car. They don't need to look around, they don't need to find a deal, they just have the money, so they can just put down. The next tip is, if you find an okay deal for an AE86, make sure to have comparable listings saved, so you can kind of haggle with the person about what this car doesn't have compared to other cars in the area for the same amount of price.
60 bucks.
Sir, that casket costs $1,000.
Okay, 70.
This also takes us into our next tip. Make sure you know the prices of these parts. Most parts on the AE86 are expensive now, so if it's lacking a certain part, you can use that as a way to haggle. For instance, if you buy a GTS swapped SR5 but it doesn't have the rear end, look to spend around $1,000 to $1,500 on that rear end, so you can try to use that to bring the price down at least $500 to $700. Also, interior is very hard to come by nowadays, especially red. So if you're looking to track this car or do anything that doesn't need the interior, you can make a lot of money back off the interior of the car. Also, AC is a thing that is super rare, so if you find an AE86 with AC, make sure to buy that. When you go to check out the car, make sure you look for rust. These are 35-year-old cars, especially in the northern states of the US. If you're in Texas like me, not so much, but still some of the paint could chip off and expose it to the elements. Make sure to check underneath the car. Below the windshield is a big spot on that little metal panel, the floor pans, and the pinch welds. If you're looking at a kooky AE86 with the plastic trim around the wheel arches, make sure to look in between the plastic and the fender, because a lot of water gets stuck in there and that's a big spot for rust. Another really good tip is you should make sure to check Craigslist, because a lot of old people still use Craigslist, and even though it's filled with spam, you might find a diamond in the rough and get yourself a nice 86 on Craigslist. Unlike a lot of cars, the AE86 had a strong run. There was no 1 or 2 years at the beginning of its run where there was major problems. The only thing that I would look out for is if you have a 7 rib or a 3 rib block. The 7 rib is just a little bit stronger, but if you have a 3 rib, there's still nothing to worry about because it's still a really good car. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe if you are new. I'll be posting more videos like this, but also vlogs on my AE86, my 4Runner, and other cars that I get. Unfortunately, if you're still here, I did sell the Miata already, so I won't be making videos on that, but I will definitely be getting more cars soon. So I'll see you guys later, and peace out.